The skies above Earth crackled with an otherworldly energy as the massive alien vessel emerged from hyperspace. Its sudden appearance sent shockwaves through human society, from the highest echelons of government to the streets of every major city. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they had their answer. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the U.S. Horizon, Earth's most advanced spacecraft. Even from low Earth orbit, the alien ship dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed. Its sleek, obsidian surface seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, creating an intimidating silhouette against the backdrop of stars. "Status report," Rodriguez barked, her eyes never leaving the alien vessel. "No aggressive maneuvers detected, Admiral," her tactical officer reported. "But they're broadcasting something. It's unlike any signal we've ever encountered." Before Rodriguez could respond, the ship's AA chimed in. "Admiral, I've decrypted the signal. It appears to be a message. Translating now." The bridge fell silent as the AA's synthetic voice gave way to a new one, deep, resonant, and undeniably alien. "People of Earth, hear us. We are the Galactic Council, guardians of order in this sector of the galaxy. Your civilization has reached a level of development that warrants our attention. As is custom, we extend to you the opportunity to join the greater galactic community for a price." Rodriguez's fists clenched. She'd spent her entire career preparing Earth for potential alien contact, but nothing could have prepared her for this. The alien voice continued, "You will provide tribute to the Council. Resources, technology, or labor. The choice is yours. In return, you'll receive our protection and guidance. Refusal is inadvisable. You have 7 Earth rotations to comply. We await your response." As the message ended, chaos erupted on the bridge. Officers shouted over each other, fear and anger mingling in their voices. Rodriguez silenced them with a sharp gesture. "Get me a direct line to the UN Security Council," she ordered, "and someone find me Dr. Usha Patel. If anyone can make sense of this, it's her." Half a world away, in a nondescript building in Geneva, the UN Security Council convened an emergency session. Leaders from every nation on Earth gathered, their faces grim as they digested the alien ultimatum. Dr. Usha Patel, Earth's foremost xenobiologist and cultural theorist, stood before them. Despite the gravity of the situation, her eyes sparkled with barely contained excitement. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of expectation, "we face a pivotal moment in human history. This Galactic Council presents us with both a threat and an opportunity." "Opportunity?" The US representative scoffed. "They're demanding tribute." Patel nodded, unfazed. "Yes, but consider the implications. They've confirmed the existence of a galactic community. They've demonstrated faster-than-light travel. The potential knowledge we could gain is immeasurable. Knowledge won't help us if they decide to wipe us out," China's representative countered. "Perhaps not," Patel conceded, "but their message suggests they value efficiency. If destruction was their goal, why demand tribute? Why give us time to respond?" The room fell silent as her words sank in. The Secretary General leaned forward. "What do you propose, Dr. Patel?" Patel took a deep breath. "We need more information. We need to understand their culture, their motivations. And to do that, we need to engage them in dialogue." "You want us to negotiate with them?" Russia's representative asked incredulously. "No," Patel said, her eyes gleaming. "I want us to challenge them." As the Security Council debated, news of the alien ultimatum spread across the globe. Reactions varied wildly, from panic and calls for immediate surrender to defiance and preparation for war. In every lab, every university, every tech company, humans worked feverishly to advance their understanding of the aliens and their technology. In a secret facility deep beneath the New Mexico desert, Dr. Marcus Chen pored over the alien transmission. As Earth's leading expert in quantum communications, He had been tasked with finding a way to penetrate the alien ship's defenses. "It's like nothing we've ever seen," he muttered, running a hand through his disheveled hair. "Their encryption is light years beyond ours. It's almost as if..." His voice trailed off as a new idea struck him. Fingers flying across his keyboard, he input a series of complex equations. The computer hummed, processing the data. "No way." Chen breathed as the results appeared on his screen. "They're not just using quantum encryption. They're manipulating the very fabric of space-time to secure their communications." The implications were staggering. If he was right, it meant the aliens possessed a fundamental understanding of physics that humanity had only theorized about. But it also meant, "We have a chance," Chen whispered, a grin spreading across his face. "If we can replicate this, we might be able to communicate with them on their level." As Chen's discovery spread through the scientific community, a spark of hope ignited. Humanity might be outgunned and outmatched, but they weren't out of the fight yet. In orbit, Admiral Rodriguez received the news with cautious optimism. "It's a start," she told her crew, "but we need more. We need every advantage we can get." She turned to her chief engineer. "What's the status of Project Prometheus?" The engineer hesitated. "It's progressing, Admiral, but it's highly experimental. We can't guarantee it'll work, let alone be ready in time." Rodriguez nodded grimly. "Double your efforts. If this goes south, Prometheus might be our only shot." As the deadline approached, Earth was a hive of activity. In every corner of the globe, humans worked tirelessly, driven by a combination of fear and determination. The message was clear: humanity would not go quietly into the night. In Geneva, the Security Council reconvened. Dr. Petel stood before them once more, her face etched with resolve. "We've learned much in the past week," she said. "About the aliens, yes, but more importantly, about ourselves. We've seen cooperation on a scale never before witnessed in human history. We've made technological leaps that should have taken decades." She paused, looking each leader in the eye. "The Galactic Council demanded tribute. I say we give them an answer they'll never forget." The Secretary-General leaned forward. "What do you propose, Doctor?" Petel's lips curved into a smile. "We show them who we are. We show them what humanity is capable of. We give them our answer in a single word." As the Council debated Petel's proposal, the alien ship loomed in the sky, a constant reminder of the choice that lay before them. The fate of humanity hung in the balance, poised between submission and defiance. In orbit, Admiral Rodriguez watched the alien vessel, her mind racing with possibilities and contingencies. Whatever Earth's response, she knew one thing for certain: the next few days would determine the course of human history for generations to come. As the deadline drew near, humanity stood united, ready to face whatever the stars might throw at them. They had been challenged, and now they would answer. The galaxy was about to learn a valuable lesson: never underestimate the human spirit. The tension in the United Nations General Assembly Hall was palpable as world leaders gathered for the most crucial decision in human history. Dr. Aisha Patel stood at the podium, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Distinguished leaders, we stand at a crossroads. The Galactic Council demands tribute, expecting us to bow to their superiority. But I propose we show them the true strength of humanity, our unity, our creativity, and our unwavering spirit." She paused, her gaze sweeping across the room. "Our response will be a single word: coexist. This word embodies our desire for peaceful relations, but also our refusal to submit. We are not offering tribute, we are offering partnership." A murmur rippled through the assembly. Some nodded in agreement, others frowned in concern. The Secretary-General raised his hand for silence. "Dr. Patel, while your proposal is bold, how do you suggest we back up this? Defiance? We cannot ignore the vast technological gap between us and the Council." Patel's eyes gleamed with determination. "That's where humanity's greatest strength comes into play. our ability to innovate under pressure. In just 1 week, we've made unprecedented advancements. Imagine what we can achieve if we pool our resources and work together. As debate raged in the assembly, teams around the world were already putting Patel's words into action. In laboratories, factories, and secret facilities, humans worked tirelessly to prepare for any possible outcome. At the Quantum Communications Facility in New Mexico, Dr. Marcus Chen had made a breakthrough. He burst into the control room, waving a tablet excitedly. "We did it," he exclaimed to his blurry-eyed team. "We've managed to replicate the Council's quantum encryption on a small scale. We can now communicate securely without fear of interception." His second-in-command, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, looked up from her workstation. "That's incredible, Marcus. But how does this help us against their superior firepower?" Chen's grin widened. "Because, Yuki, if we can encrypt our communications like they do, we might be able to decrypt theirs. Knowledge is power, especially when facing an unknown enemy." Meanwhile, in a top-secret hangar beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Elena Rodriguez surveyed the fruit of humanity's labor, Project Prometheus. The massive ship before her gleamed under the harsh lights, its sleek design a testament to human ingenuity. "Status report," she barked to the chief engineer. "We're at 85% completion, Admiral," he replied, his voice a mix of pride and exhaustion. "The fusion drive is operational, and the adaptive shield technology is in final testing. We've integrated Dr. Chen's quantum communication system, and weapons systems are at 90% capacity." Rodriguez nodded, a small smile tugging at her lips. "Well done. This ship may be our ace in the hold if negotiations go south." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In Bangalore, a team of programmers put the finishing touches on an AI system designed to analyze alien behavior and predict their strategies. In Cape Town, biologists worked around the clock to develop defenses against potential biological weapons. And in orbit, astronauts retrofitted the International Space Station with experimental sensors to gather more data on the alien vessel. As the deadline approached, Dr. Patel found herself in a secure bunker with world leaders and top military brass. The room was silent as they waited for the chosen time to deliver their response. "Are we really going through with this?" the Russian president asked, breaking the silence. "We're risking everything on one word." Patel met his gaze steadily. "We're risking everything by showing the galaxy who we truly are. If we submit now, we'll forever be seen as weak. This is our chance to define ourselves on the galactic stage." The US president nodded. "Dr. Patel is right. We've come too far to back down now. Humanity didn't climb to the top of the food chain on Earth by cowering in fear." As the clock ticked down, final preparations were made. Admiral Rodriguez took command of the Prometheus, moving it into position behind Earth's moon, hidden from the alien vessel's sensors. Defense systems around the globe went on high alert, ready for any possible retaliation. In orbit, the crew of the US Horizon tensed as the communication officer prepared to transmit their response. Captain Sarah Chen, handpicked by Admiral Rodriguez for this crucial mission, took a deep breath. "This is it, people," she addressed her crew. "No matter what happens next, remember, we're making history. We're standing up not just for Earth, but for every species that's ever been bullied by the Council. Let's show them what humanity is made of." With a nod from Captain Chen, the communication officer pressed the transmit button. The last response, a single word encoded in the Council's own quantum encryption, streaked across space towards the alien vessel. Seconds ticked by, feeling like an eternity. The alien ship remained motionless, giving no indication that it had received the message. Then suddenly, it began to move. "Captain," the sensor officer called out. "The alien vessel is powering up its systems. We're detecting massive energy spikes." Captain Chen's jaw clenched. "This is it. Battle stations, everyone. Let's hope for the best but prepare for the worst." As klaxons blared across the horizon, the alien ship's movement abruptly ceased. A new transmission arrived, its complex encryption taking precious seconds to decipher. The bridge fell silent as the alien voice filled the air once more. "Humans of Earth, your response is unexpected. Elaborate." A collective breath of relief swept through the bridge, quickly replaced by tense anticipation. This wasn't acceptance, but it wasn't immediate annihilation either. They had bought themselves time, and in the face of a technologically superior foe, time could make all the difference. Captain Chen straightened her uniform and cleared her throat. "Patch me through to Earth. They need to know. The ball is in our court now." As the news spread across the planet, humans everywhere held their breath. The Galactic Council had extended an olive branch, however reluctant. Now, humanity had to prove they were worthy of not just survival, but of being treated as equals in the cosmic arena. In her bunker, Dr. Potel allowed herself a small smile. "And now," she murmured, "the real work begins." The stage was set for a battle not of weapons, but of words and wits. Humanity had taken its stand. The question now was, could they back it up? The tension in the United Nations Command Center was palpable as Dr. Aisha Patel prepared to address the Galactic Council. Surrounded by a team of Earth's finest diplomats, linguists, and scientists, she took a deep breath, steeling herself for what could be the most important conversation in human history. "Remember," she said to her team, "every word counts. We're not just negotiating for Earth, but for our place in the galactic community." With a nod to the communications officer, the link was established. The alien voice, now familiar yet still otherworldly, filled the room. "Humans of Earth, you have chosen to respond with coexist. Explain the meaning behind this, defiance." Dr. Patel stepped forward, her voice clear and steady. "Honorable members of the Galactic Council, we choose coexist not as an act of defiance, but as an invitation. We seek not to submit, nor to rebel, but to join you as equals in the vast expanse of the cosmos." There was a pause, long enough for the humans in the room to exchange nervous glances. Then the alien voice returned, a note of curiosity evident in its tone. "Equals? You are but a fledgling species, barely able to leave your own planet. What makes you think you are worthy of equality?" Patel smiled, despite the gravity of the situation. "It is precisely our youth that makes us valuable. We bring fresh perspectives, untainted by millennia of galactic politics. We offer innovation, adaptability, and a burning desire to learn and grow." As she spoke, screens around the room lit up with data streams. Dr. Marcus Chen and his team were working furiously, using their newly developed quantum decryption to analyze the Council's transmissions. "We're picking up multiple signals," Chen muttered to his colleagues. "It seems our friends aren't as united as they'd like us to believe." Back in the main chamber, the alien voice spoke again. "Your words are intriguing. But words alone are not enough. How do you propose to prove your worth?" This was the moment Dr. Patel had been preparing for. "We propose a series of challenges," she said. "Tests of our scientific knowledge, our problem-solving abilities, our cultural understanding, and our ethical reasoning. Let us demonstrate that we can contribute meaningfully to the galactic community." The silence that followed seemed to stretch for an eternity. In orbit, aboard the U.S. Horizon, Captain Sarah Chen and her crew waited with bated breath. Behind the moon, Admiral Rodriguez kept the Prometheus on high alert, ready to spring into action if negotiations failed. Finally, the Council responded. "Your proposal is unprecedented. We will consider it. You will have one planetary rotation to prepare. We will transmit the details of the first challenge at that time." As the transmission ended, a mix of relief and anxiety swept through the United Nations Command Center. They had avoided immediate conflict, but the real test was yet to come. Dr. Patel turned to her team, her eyes blazing with determination. "All right, people. We've got 24 hours to prepare for anything they might throw at us. Let's make every second count. Across the globe, humanity mobilized with a unity and purpose never before seen in history. In every field of science, in every branch of the arts, in every aspect of human knowledge and creativity, experts worked tirelessly to prepare for the Council's challenge. In Silicon Valley, tech giants pooled their resources to create an AI system capable of processing and analyzing data at unprecedented speeds. In CERN, physicists pushed the boundaries of their understanding of the universe, ready to tackle any scientific challenge. In the world's great universities, philosophers and ethicists debated complex moral scenarios, honing humanity's ethical reasoning. As the deadline approached, Dr. Patel found herself in a heated discussion with military leaders. "We can't rule out the possibility that this is all a ruse," General Hauser argued. "They could be buying time to position their fleet for an attack." Patel shook her head. "If they wanted to destroy us, they could have done so already. No, this is a test, but not the one they've announced. They're watching how we prepare, how we unite in the face of this challenge. That's the real test." Admiral Rodriguez's voice crackled over the comm system. "Dr. Patel is right, but we're not taking any chances. The Prometheus remains on standby, and we've got every sensor trained on that alien ship. If they so much as twitch funny, we'll know about it." As the appointed time drew near, humanity held its collective breath. In homes and public squares around the world, people gathered around screens, waiting for news. The future of their species hung in the balance. In the command center, Dr. Patel stood ready, surrounded by the brightest minds Earth had to offer. As the clock ticked down, she allowed herself a moment of reflection. Whatever happened next, humanity had already achieved something remarkable. They had come together as one, united in purpose and spirit. The alien transmission came right on schedule. "Humans of Earth, your first challenge is this: solve the enclosed mathematical equation. It relates to a problem that has plagued our civilization for millennia. You have one planetary rotation to submit your solution." As the equation appeared on screens around the world, mathematicians and physicists gasped. It was like nothing they had ever seen before, incorporating mathematical concepts that seemed to defy the very laws of the universe as they understood them. Dr. Chen, who had been monitoring the transmission, suddenly sat up straight. "Wait a minute," he muttered, his fingers flying over his keyboard. "This equation, it's not just math. It's a key." Patel turned to him, her eyebrow raised. "A key to what, Doctor?" Chen looked up, his eyes wide with excitement and fear. "If I'm right, it's a key to manipulating the fabric of space-time itself. Solving this equation could give us control over gravity, over the very structure of the universe." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. This wasn't just a test. The Council had placed in humanity's hands a puzzle that could revolutionize their understanding of the cosmos, or in the wrong hands, become a weapon of unimaginable power. Dr. Patel's voice cut through the silence. "Well then," she said, a hint of a smile on her lips, "let's get to work. We've got a universe to understand." As the best minds on Earth bent to the task, the alien ship loomed in the sky, a constant reminder of the stakes. Humanity had asked to be treated as equals. Now they had to prove they were ready for the responsibility that came with that equality. The clock was ticking, and the eyes of the galaxy were upon them. It was time for humanity to show what they were truly capable of. The global scientific community had never faced a challenge quite like this. The equation presented by the Galactic Council was more than just a mathematical problem. It was a key to understanding the very fabric of the universe. In research centers around the world, the brightest minds humanity had to offer worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of their understanding. At the heart of this effort was an unlikely duo, Dr. Marcus Chen, the quantum communications expert, and Dr. Yuki Tanaka, a theoretical physicist with a reputation for thinking outside the box. They had commandeered a vast array of supercomputers, using them to run simulations based on their evolving understanding of the equation. It's like trying to solve a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. Dr. Tanaka muttered, her eyes bloodshot from hours of staring at screens. Dr. Chen nodded, rubbing his temples, and we're not even sure what the final picture is supposed to look like. As they worked, a pattern began to emerge. The equations seemed to describe a way to create localized distortions in spacetime, essentially controllable gravity wells. The implications were staggering. If we can solve this, Dr. Chen said, his voice barely above a whisper, we could revolutionize space travel. We could create shields against any known weapon. We could destroy entire star systems. Dr. Tanaka finished grimly. No wonder the Council used this as a test. They're not just checking our intelligence, they're judging our ethics. The realization spread quickly through the scientific community and to the world's leaders. This wasn't just a mathematical problem, it was a moral one. In Geneva, Dr. Aisha Patel convened an emergency meeting with global leaders and ethicists. We need to approach this carefully, she warned. How we use this knowledge is just as important as solving the equation itself. The debate raged for hours. Some argued for full disclosure of their findings to the Galactic Council, showing humanity's commitment to transparency. Others pushed for partial disclosure, keeping some of the more dangerous implications to themselves as a safeguard. As the deadline loomed closer, a compromise was reached. They would solve the equation but present their solution in a unique way, one that demonstrated both their intelligence and their ethical considerations. With less than 6 hours remaining, Dr. Patel delivered the plan to the scientific team. We're not just going to give them the answer, she explained. We're going to show them our work, including the ethical discussions and the safeguards we propose. We'll demonstrate that we understand the power of this knowledge and that we're responsible enough to wield it. The final hours were a frenzy of activity. Mathematicians fine-tuned the solution. Ethicists drafted guidelines for the use of spacetime manipulation technology, and engineers began designing theoretical fail-safes. As the clock ticked down to 0, humanity's response was ready. Dr. Patel stood before the transmission array, flanked by Dr. Chen and Dr. Tanaka. With a deep breath, she began the transmission. Honorable members of the Galactic Council, we present to you not just our solution to your equation, but our journey to understanding it. What followed was a comprehensive package. It included the mathematical solution, annotated with the key insights that led to breakthroughs. But it also contained much more: philosophical treatises on the ethical implications of spacetime manipulation, proposed guidelines for its use, and even theoretical designs for safety mechanisms to prevent misuse. We understand the power of the knowledge you have shared with us, Dr. Patel continued, and we recognize the responsibility that comes with it. We submit to you not just an answer, but a commitment to use this knowledge wisely for the betterment of all sentient life in the galaxy. As the transmission ended, a tense silence fell over the command center. They had taken a risk, going beyond what was asked of them. Now they could only wait and hope that the Council would understand and appreciate their approach. Hours passed with no response. The tension on Earth ratcheted up with each passing minute. Had they overstepped? Had their attempt to demonstrate that ethical reasoning backfired? Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the Council responded. The alien voice that filled the command center seemed different somehow. Was there a note of respect in its tone? Humans of Earth, your response is unexpected. You have not only solved the equation but have demonstrated a level of foresight and ethical consideration that is rare among emerging species. A collective sigh of relief swept through the room, but the alien voice wasn't finished. However, this was but the first of many challenges. Your journey to prove your worth has only begun. Prepare yourselves. The next test will not be of your scientific acumen, but of your ability to understand and adapt to alien cultures. You have one planetary rotation to rest. Then we will proceed. As the transmission ended, the humans in the command center looked at each other, a mix of relief and apprehension on their faces. They had passed the first test, but it was clear that the Galactic Council was just getting started. Dr. Patel turned to her team, a determined smile on her face. "Well done, everyone, but let's not rest on our laurels. We've got a lot of work to do if we're going to ace an alien culture test." As the news spread across the globe, humanity celebrated their first victory while bracing for the challenges to come. In universities and cultural centers around the world, anthropologists, sociologists, and linguists began preparing, ready to put their skills to the ultimate test. Meanwhile, in orbit, Captain Sarah Chen received a coded transmission from Admiral Rodriguez. "Be ready," it read. "If this is truly a test of cultural understanding, we might need your skills sooner than we thought." Chen nodded to herself. As a seasoned diplomat as well as a skilled commander, she knew that the next challenge might be even more daunting than the first. Understanding an alien culture with no common frame of reference would push humanity to its limits. But as she looked out at the Earth below, Chen felt a surge of pride and determination. Humanity had faced the unknown and emerged stronger. Whatever came next, they would face it together, united in their quest to prove their worth to the galaxy. The stage was set for the next round in humanity's trial by fire. The Galactic Council had thrown down the gauntlet, and Earth had picked it up. The question now was, could they continue to surprise and impress their alien judges? Only time would tell. As dawn broke over a world both exhausted and exhilarated from their first victory, humanity braced itself for the Galactic Council's next challenge. In universities, think tanks, and cultural institutions across the globe, experts in anthropology, sociology, linguistics, and diplomacy gathered to prepare for what might be the most complex test of all, understanding an entirely alien culture. Dr. Aisha Patel stood before a diverse group of scholars in a hastily assembled war room at UNESCO headquarters in Paris. The walls were covered with screens displaying data streams, alien symbols, and speculative models of extraterrestrial social structures. "Ladies and gentlemen," she addressed the assembled experts, "we face a challenge unprecedented in human history. We must demonstrate our ability to comprehend and adapt to a culture so foreign, it may defy our very understanding of society." As if on cue, the alien transmission began. The familiar voice of the Galactic Council filled the room. "Humans of Earth, your next trial begins now. We will transmit to you a series of cultural artifacts, social scenarios, and linguistic patterns from a non-council species. You have one planetary rotation to analyze this data and demonstrate your understanding by correctly navigating a complex social interaction. Your response will determine your fitness for galactic citizenship." As the transmission ended, data began flooding into Earth's systems. Strange symbols, incomprehensible sounds, and bizarre imagery flashed across screens worldwide. The clock was ticking. Dr. Elena Vasquez, a renowned xenolinguist, was the first to spot a pattern. "Look here," she pointed to a recurring symbol in the data stream. "This glyph appears in contexts that suggest it might be a foundational concept in their culture. Something akin to our notion of respect or honor, perhaps." Meanwhile, Dr. Kenji Tanaka, an expert in game theory and social dynamics, was running simulations based on the alien social scenarios. "Their social structure seems to be highly fluid," he mused. "Hierarchies appear to shift based on some sort of energy exchange. It's unlike anything we've seen in human societies." As experts around the world pooled their insights, a picture began to emerge of a truly alien culture. The species in question seemed to communicate as much through bioluminescence as through sound. Their social structure was based on a complex system of energy exchange, with status determined by one's ability to harmonize their personal energy with the group's. Dr. Patel coordinated the global effort, synthesizing insights from diverse fields. "We're not just looking to understand them," she reminded her team. "We need to demonstrate that we can successfully interact within their cultural framework." In orbit, Captain Sarah Chen received a priority transmission from Admiral Rodriguez. Captain, we're picking up unusual energy signatures from the Council ship. Be prepared for anything. Chen acknowledged the warning, her mind racing. Could this be part of the test, or was the Council preparing for something more sinister? As the deadline approached, humanity's response took shape. They would present not just an analysis of the alien culture, but the demonstration of their ability to adapt to it. Dr. Patel stood before the transmission array, flanked by a team of experts. With a deep breath, she began. Honorable Council, we present our understanding of the culture you have shared with us. What followed was a tour de force of cultural adaptation. The human team had created a holographic avatar capable of mimicking the alien species' bioluminescent communication. They demonstrated their understanding of the energy-based social hierarchy by having the avatar navigate a complex social scenario, adjusting its energy output to harmonize with the group. But humanity didn't stop there. They took a risk, incorporating elements of human culture into their response. The avatar introduced concepts like music and dance, demonstrating how these human art forms could be adapted to the alien species' energy-based communication. We offer not just understanding, Dr. Patel concluded, but the possibility of cultural exchange. We believe that true coexistence means not only comprehending each other, but enriching one another's cultures through respectful interaction. As the transmission ended, tension filled the air. Had they gone too far? Would the Council see their creative approach as presumptuous? Hours passed with no response. The silence was deafening. Then suddenly, the Council ship began to move. Alarms blared in military installations around the world as the massive vessel descended from high orbit, coming to rest in the stratosphere directly above the United Nations headquarters in New York. Before panic could set in, a new transmission arrived. The alien voice seemed different now, tinged with what could almost be described as emotion. Humans of Earth, your response is unprecedented. You have not only demonstrated understanding, but have shown an ability to bridge cultures that we have rarely witnessed in our long history. We have misjudged you. A collective gasp echoed around the world as screens everywhere displayed a new image, a live feed from inside the Council ship. For the first time, humanity laid eyes on their judges. The Council members were a diverse group of beings, each wildly different from the next. Some were vaguely humanoid, others defied easy description. We have decided, the voice continued, now matched to a being with iridescent skin and multifaceted eyes, that further tests are unnecessary. You have proven yourselves to be not just intelligent, but wise, creative yet ethical, proud yet humble. In short, you have shown yourselves to be worthy of joining the galactic community. Cheers erupted around the globe as the magnitude of this statement sank in. Humanity had not just survived the Council's test, they had excelled beyond all expectations. But the Council wasn't finished. We wish to extend an invitation. A delegation from Earth is welcome to board our vessel. It is time for true dialogue to begin. As celebrations broke out worldwide, Dr. Patel turned to her team, her eyes shining with tears of joy and anticipation. Well, she said, a smile spreading across her face, I guess we better pack our bags. We have a first contact situation to prepare for. In orbit, Captain Chen received new orders from Earth Command. The Prometheus was to decloak and take up a position near the Council ship, not as a threat, but as a symbol of humanity's readiness to join the galactic stage. As the Prometheus emerged from behind the moon, its advanced design drew appreciative murmurs from the Council members. Humanity had kept a few surprises up their sleeve, it seemed. The stage was set for a new era in human history. They had faced the ultimate test and emerged victorious. Now, as they prepared to take their first steps into a larger universe, one thing was clear: humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. The sleek shuttle carrying Earth's first official delegation to the Galactic Council ship hummed softly as it ascended through the atmosphere. Dr. Aisha Patel gazed out the viewport, the blue curve of Earth giving way to the star-speckled blackness of space. Beside her sat a carefully selected team, Dr. Marcus Chen, Captain Sarah Chen, no relation, Dr. Elena Vasquez, and surprisingly, a last-minute addition, Zara Ojukwu, a 19-year-old artist whose digital creations had gone viral during the cultural challenge. As they approached the massive council ship, its true scale became apparent. It dwarfed anything humanity had ever constructed, a city in space that housed representatives from countless alien civilizations. Remember, Dr. Potel addressed her team, we're not just here as observers. We're here to establish humanity's place in the galactic community. Every interaction counts. The shuttle docked with a soft thud, and as the airlock cycled, the delegation shared a collective deep breath. The door slid open, revealing a cavernous docking bay filled with creatures of all shapes and sizes. At the forefront stood the iridescent being they had seen in the transmission. Welcome, humans of Earth. The being's voice resonated in their minds rather than their ears. I am Zixara, lead arbiter of the Galactic Council. We are pleased to receive you. What followed was a whirlwind tour of the council ship. The human delegation marveled at technologies beyond their wildest dreams, matter replicators, faster-than-light communication arrays, and even a chamber that seemed to bend the very laws of physics. But it wasn't just the technology that amazed them. As they moved through the ship, they encountered beings from across the galaxy. Some were eerily similar to Earth life, while others defied description. Dr. Vasquez found herself in an impromptu linguistic exchange with a gaseous entity that communicated through pheromones, while Dr. Chen engaged in a fascinating discussion about quantum mechanics with a silicon-based life form. As they reached the council chambers, Zixara turned to address them. You have proven yourselves worthy of joining our galactic community. But with this privilege comes great responsibility. Are you prepared for the challenges ahead? Dr. Potel stepped forward, her voice steady. We are. Humanity has always thrived on challenges. We're ready to learn, to contribute, and to grow alongside our new galactic neighbors. Zixara's multifaceted eyes seemed to twinkle. Then let us begin the process of integration. There is much to discuss. Over the next several hours, the human delegation engaged in intense negotiations. They learned of galactic laws and customs, trade agreements, and technological exchange protocols. But they also shared Earth's unique perspectives and innovations. Captain Chen presented the Prometheus project, impressing the Council with humanity's rapid technological advancement. Dr. Vasquez proposed a galactic cultural exchange program, building on their success in the cultural challenge. And young Zara, initially overwhelmed, found her voice when the discussion turned to art and creativity. Her ideas for using art as a universal language across species boundaries captivated even the most stoic council members. As the talks progressed, it became clear that humanity's entrance into the galactic community would be transformative, not just for Earth, but for the galaxy itself. Their fresh perspectives and innovative thinking were already sparking new ideas among the council members. Your species has a unique blend of traits, Zixara observed. Your adaptability, your creativity, your drive to explore and understand. These qualities are rare in combination. We believe you have much to offer the galactic community. As the delegation prepared to return to Earth, they were presented with a series of agreements, technology exchange protocols, cultural cooperation initiatives, and perhaps most importantly, Earth's provisional membership in the Galactic Council. Dr. Potel signed the documents with a steady hand, acutely aware of the historical significance of the moment. As she looked up, she saw not just the alien beings around her, but the potential for humanity's future among the stars. The return journey to Earth was filled with excited discussion and planning. There was so much to do, preparing humanity for the influx of new knowledge, establishing protocols for interaction with alien species, and restructuring global priorities to align with their new galactic responsibilities. As they re-entered Earth's atmosphere, the delegation could see crowds gathered in cities around the world, watching their return on massive screens. The joy and anticipation were palpable. In a live global broadcast from the United Nations headquarters, Dr. Patel addressed the world. People of Earth, today marks the dawn of a new era. We have taken our place among the stars, joining a community of beings as diverse as they are wondrous. The path ahead will not be easy. We have much to learn and great responsibilities to shoulder. But I have seen firsthand the wonders that await us, and I can say with certainty, humanity's greatest adventure is just beginning. As cheers erupted around the globe, the Galactic Council ship above began to glow with an ethereal light. In a dazzling display visible from the ground, it projected a holographic message into Earth's sky, a symbol of unity recognized across the galaxy, welcoming Earth to its new family among the stars. In that moment, as humans around the world gazed up in awe and alien beings across the galaxy turned their attention to this young, promising species, one thing became clear: the universe would never be the same again. Humanity had not just secured its place in the cosmos, it had opened the door to endless possibilities, ready to write the next chapter in the grand story of galactic civilization. The challenge had been met, the tide had turned, and now, a new journey was just beginning, one that would take humanity to the farthest reaches of the universe and the very limits of their potential.